Don't worry, everyone. Your patience will be paid off. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, featuring Florida State Seminoles live, and we only can do this because of these two. We got Jason Parker from NBC6. We got Logan Robinson, of course, from Knoll Game Day. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Good. I feel like we should apologize to the viewers. We apologize that we are recording this on a Thursday. We had prior commitments. I had the commitment of watching the Florida State basketball team kick the holy hell out of Miami, which was beautiful, in front of about 68 fans inside the Watsco Center last night. Great game. Good job. First shout of the night to Leonard Hamilton and the 11th grade basketball team. And Logan had a date last night. So, Logan, how did that go?
That day went well. It was nice. With COVID-19 going on, you have to be very strict with what's usual date functions. Everybody goes at once, but there was different times for bus rides and everything. And it was a great night. Enjoyed it, nice and relaxed. And I'm just, it's like one of those things where it's on like your task. It's on the calendar for like over a month, and you're like, all right, let's just get it kind of over with a little bit. But it was very nice. It was a very nice night, and had some Four Rivers, had some barbecue, had some music. It was Mallard themed, so I was wearing all camo. Everything: camo hat, camo pants, camo shirt. And it was phenomenal. But I'm just glad it's over with, and now I can just focus on school.
You went to a formal dress in camo. I'm not even going to make the joke about it. We're just going to move on. Now, let's just real quick. You said that this has been on your calendar for a month, and you told us about this on Monday.
Well, the thing is, though, Miami FSU basketball. I mean, that was going to come up either way. It worked out for both of you, Jason, so you can't complain either. You can't.
I'm not complaining. Once again, in front of a grand total of 68 fans inside the Watsco Center on the campus. I actually did count the number of fans. They only let family members in of players for both Miami and Florida State. I guess they didn't realize that we had, I believe it's 3 or 4 players from South Florida. So we had a decent member of our FSU family there. So
not bad.
Also, a quick shout out, mostly just to drive Mark crazy. Quick shout out to the Florida State baseball team for the second straight year blowing it in the opener and still winning their first series of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then can I give one more? I'm sorry, one more sarcastic.
Who were they playing? Who was the baseball team playing?
We played North Florida, the Fighting Ospreys, and we blew it. We blew the opener just like we blew it last year too. I think it was USF. That's what we're doing. That's what Mike Marvin Jr. is going to do. He's going to lower expectations with that opening game loss and then win the series. That's how he's going to do it. But can I give one more final shout out? And this is going to bring up our hot debate question. A damn shout out to the Girl Scouts at my damn Publix down here. The Girl Scout cookies are out. How am I supposed to maintain my beautiful figure? How am I supposed to maintain my weight loss when there's boxes of tag-alongs less than a mile from my house? Help, guys. Help me. Help me.
I love Girl Scout cookies as much as the next guy, if not more. I can down a couple boxes in a sitting easily. But at the same time, there are always cookies down at the store available.
It's not the same as a Girl Scout cookie. The Girl Scout, I'm tag-alongs. I'm sure that, you guys have your own favorite Girl Scout cookies, but come on, there's something about that Girl Scout cookie.
All right, the tag-alongs are the peanut butter dipped in the chocolate.
Correct.
Absolutely, those are top of the line.
Correct.
Absolutely,
Logan,
those are great.
your thoughts?
I love them. I'm not a big cookie or like candy person, but I do like Girl Scout cookies. Like I'm a big, whatever's like Reese's, whatever's with peanut butter and chocolate, I'm all about.
Wait. Did the three of us just agree on something? It only took 94 shows.
I think it did. I think it did. We might be heading in the right direction here.
We got to stop now. We're done here. Good night, guys.
It's boring.
All the times that Logan and I agree on things, which is quite often, it's pretty consistent. And then there's the few times that you and Logan agree on things. And then there are even fewer times that you and I agree on things. So yeah, for the three of us to get together on this one.
This took a year and a half, almost 2 years.
94. We are just 10 shows away from 52 times 2.
We're getting there.
Wow, 2 years we've kept it together.
Scary.
Wow, that is scary.
It only feels like an eternity.
To give you an idea of my cookie habit, 2 nights ago, so less than 2 nights ago, I headed out for a full family size package of double stuffed Oreos and EL fudge as well. So 2 full size packages cookies, and I have got nobody around here currently to eat them, and I finished them off this afternoon.
I have no metabolism, so that's where I'm screwed. That's my problem. I can't do that.
It's not good for me to do it either.
This is our way, viewers, of saying that right now, not a lot's going on with the Florida State football team, but don't worry. For the next hour, we will tell you everything that has happened in the last week.
Yep.
I am guessing that the Florida State Strength and Conditioning Program will not have a similar diet for one Lamont Green out of the 2023 class. Weakside defensive end, 6'4", 210 out of Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida, Logan.
Yep. Is this the 2024 guy?
This is 2023. Lamont Green, obviously, he's coming as a defensive end. His dad was a member of the national championship team in '99. We're not going to lose our minds over it. It's a 2023 commit. 24/7 doesn't have any stars. They haven't released their commitments yet. He'll be a junior this year in high school. But it's a good thing as far as the look. It's a legacy commit. We've talked about this before. James has talked about this before. It's good to get guys who grew up in Florida State families coming back to Florida State. You know, you had Stanford Samuel come in. His dad, obviously, a former cornerback. But then you had Devin Bush leave down here in Pembroke Pines, go to Michigan. You've had both Bradley Jennings' kids. One went to Miami, one signed with Michigan. So it's good to get somebody coming in to down here.
I think Jennings actually ends up going. I went to Maryland, which is absolutely hilarious. Hilarious.
It was committed to Michigan. I apologize. He went to Maryland.
But still, I'm pointing out that he went to Maryland. That's about as silly as it gets.
The bag talks sometimes. The money bag talks.
Sometimes it does.
But you're more into this recruiting from that aspect. I've seen him play down here in Miami. He's a good kid, good size. Yay or nay? How much should we be happy about this commitment from Lamont Green Jr.?
We'll get big because you're able to grab a legacy commit that far in advance in the 2023 class. That means that Norvell is connecting well. Also, I mean, Lamont Green Sr. was pushing very hard for his son to come to Florida State. That wasn't like a thing where like, hey, you know, if you want to go to UF, you could do that. We're actually having Lamont Green Jr. and his senior on our podcast tonight, but I've overheard him senior talk about his son, and I'm saying, you know, if he went to Florida, I would spank him. It's just like there's two different kind of fathers out there that are rep their alumni. One is pushing you hard to go to Florida State or go to a college that they went to, or they're really open up and, you know, go where you'd like to go. You know, we've seen James Coleman come on here and say, you know, if my son wants to go to Florida State, most certainly you do you. If he wants to go to LSU, you do you. But when it comes to Miami, things get a little bit more different. Lamont Green Senior, I know, is very big and probably connecting well with the staff at Florida State. But this kid is 6'4", like you said, 210, still got to work on some building, but he's young. This is 2023 class. So that body is going to come into shape. He's got a nice frame on him. And, you know, he's been putting out some videos of him working out, and he seems like a good kid, like you said, Jason. It's just good to grab these legacy guys that are also talented and down there in Miami too. You grab a Miami guy. You've been talking about these Florida kids, Jason.
I will give Norvell credit. I will give the recruiting staff credit on this one. It's getting a South Florida commit. It's getting, you know, Gulliver Prep is a big school. Patrick Robinson, former Florida State cornerback, came out of Gulliver Prep. The late Sean Taylor, arguably one of the best safeties in the history, former Miami Hurricane, came out of Gulliver Prep. It's a very good program. You know, and South Florida showed their power this last season when, you know, not a lot of these schools played full schedules, and you still had, you know, 6 teams make it to the state championship game and 5 of them won titles. So, you know, I hate to say it. I know people in the Panhandle, people in Orlando don't want to hear it. High school football still runs through Miami-Dade and Broward County.
Yep. No, it's nice. And that's what Florida State right now is trying to focus on right now. Norvell and the staff is doing a very good job of getting these guys that are definitely legacy commits, but getting closer with alumni. And it's just these little steps. It's going to take patience. It's going to take definitely on the field production. It's got to be better on the field. But right now, Florida State is churning. I don't know if we even have this on the list yet, but if we go back to yesterday, Tyler Hunter per 247 Sports is the #1 rated wide receiver / cornerback. I've never seen anything like it. Like, he is like by far, he's going to come to Tallahassee and play wide receiver and DB. I don't think I don't think you can stop him from doing that. He's 125% committed to Florida State. He was also moved up 4 spots. He's now the #3 best player in the class of 2022. This kid is an absolute stud, and he is people are wondering, all right, is he going to flip? Oh my God, he's rated so high. He's going to Alabama. He's gone. This kid right here is literally, he tweeted earlier today, I believe this morning, tweeted, send me some names that I can go after so we can bring him into our Florida State class. He's been doing this for a while, though. This guy right here is going to lead these next, not this class, but the classes, these next 3 classes. Travis Hunter is that talented, and he had a phenomenal weekend, too, at the camp that he was. He's just a freakish athlete that we haven't seen probably around Derwin. I'm trying to think, Jalen, Dalvin Cook, those kind of like freak-esque athletes. This guy is on a different level.
Jason.
What do we think the connection is there? So you got, as you mentioned, the number 1 corner / wide receiver in the country. He's the number 1 rated player in the state of Georgia. He's a top 5 player nationally, regardless of position. He's in Georgia. Do we the Florida State football program's not doing well right now on the field? Do we know how they were able to make inroads with a guy like this?
It's still, as much as we want to say that right now Florida State is not the national power that it was back in during the dynasty era and even during the first half of last decade, it still is Florida State football.
Sure.
You're still in 2022. You're going to open the year, or excuse me, I apologize. Now the second game of the season is going to be LSU on national TV inside the Superdome. You're going to have Clemson. You're going to have Miami. You're going to have Florida. All those games are going to be nationally televised. You're going to have, down the road, I think it would be Alabama. I think it's in 2024 and 2025. You're going to have those big names. You're going to get that exposure. So if you have that talent that Logan was just talking about, if you really play like you are the number 3 player in the country, your name will be out there. So that's what it is about coming to Florida State.
But he can go to 50 other schools in the country and have that much television time.
Right now, though, here's the thing. How many other people are coming to Florida State? You're going to be in that starting lineup, arguably right now as a freshman. If you go to Alabama, you're going to have to work. So it's an easier road to be on that national TV, be on that national stage against LSU, against Clemson, against Miami as a freshman. Don't steal our thunder, man. This is a big moment.
I'm just trying to figure out what the angle is here.
That's why a lot of people, that's like I said, I think a lot of people are questioning, does he leave his commitment and go somewhere else? But that's just something, even I think if Florida State had another 3 and 6 year, I think this guy, this can't call him a kid. He's a freaking freak. It still will come to Florida State. He believes in what Mike Norvell and the staff is doing. He committed about a week from now. It'd have been a year now that he's been committed to Florida State. Hard commit. I mean, there's just nothing about it. He's there to be the building block to getting this team back and forth. And that's something that happened in 2010, 2011, 2012, where you got these guys that were locked into Florida State and stayed committed. To kind of go back to where Derwin James was when he committed, as a sophomore or a freshman, sophomore.
He was a freshman.
Yeah, I think he was a true freshman in high school, and he, I think, already had the Seminole logo, Seminole head tatted on him, and it was just solidified that he was going to come to Florida State, where he could have gone anywhere in the country, probably could have gotten paid to go to wherever college he wanted to go to, but he stuck with FSU. It's just having those kind of guys right now is what Florida State needs, and that's what Norvell is bringing in right now, and we'll see if that translates onto field production, because you're seeing a different kind of mentality of kids coming than what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years.
Mark, this is the second straight week I've had to compliment Mike Norvell and the recruiting right now. Logan is loving this moment right now that I'm having to compliment Mike Norvell. He's loving this. Let this happen.
Can we going back real quick down to cutting thing off? I don't know if it was on the docket, but the 2024 kid, I haven't had any time today whatsoever to look at Twitter and whatnot.
2024 guys, come on.
We're going back, and he's also a baseball player.
Well, let's also, before we go on, while Logan's researching that, let's talk about somebody else in the upcoming class that Florida State needs to get. So another legacy commit. It's Marvin Jones Jr. That's who Florida State needs to go after next. Florida State, and I talked to him at the state championship games, which were held in Tallahassee this year. He saw the FSU mask. He gave me a little chop on the field, and then after the game, I asked him, I go, "Is there something more special about winning this game inside Doak?" And he was very adamant that it was very special for him because of his family history. It's not just his dad. Marvin Jones, arguably the greatest linebacker in college football history, arguably the greatest linebacker in Florida State history. His uncle, Fred Jones, former Florida State football player back in the 80s. It's that lineage of South Florida talent coming to Tallahassee. So, and I know Miami's sweating him hard. Miami wants him bad. I think right now I'd probably say it's 60-40, Florida State, Miami. So that's what it's going to come down to, is getting these legacy commits. It's not just Lamont Green. It's got to be Marvin Jones. You have to get Marvin Jones in. Marvin Jones Jr. has to come to Florida State. If he comes to Miami, it's going to be a sad day. If he commits to the Miami Hurricanes, it'll be a sad day. If he does commit to Florida State, dancing in the streets.
Yeah, Florida State needs most certainly to have Little Jones, because obviously you're looking at linebacker unit. You would love to bring in a legacy guy. Marvin Jones was arguably one of the best linebackers, not in Florida State history, but also college football history. I mean, he was the man that did it. But you got to have a guy like this kind of talent that you need. You're just salivating for at linebacker. You got to have on-field production. That's what this team needs. That's what Adam Fuller needs to switch up what's going on with the defense. It's got to be changed. If he sees some kind of there's progress happening, we're talking not just little progress. We got to see a big jump. We got to see big. You're going to have a spring. We have workouts going on right now. Everything's on schedule. We got to see a jump. A lot of these guys are going to stick with that lane to Florida State if there's that on-field production. But Marvin Jones Jr. is one that you have to grab in this class.
And his ratings are near the top of the board here. Third rated at his position, 15th rated in the country, 247 Sports, fourth rated player in the state. His college list, according to 247, is a bit curious. Alabama, Auburn, you can understand. Arizona State, Baylor, Cincinnati.
Well, but you look at the offers there. He's been offered by Alabama, by Oklahoma, by Georgia, Florida State, Florida, Miami, some little school in Columbus, Ohio. I mean, all these schools are offering him. And so that's the thing. With all due respect, Lamont Green Jr. has got offers from schools like FIU, Coastal Carolina, schools like that in the group of five. Marvin Jones is getting the big boy commits. He's getting the Ohio States, the Oklahomas, the Alabamas. If Florida State can get him, let's say Florida State goes 7-5 this season and can get a recruit like him, sky's the limit from there.
I shared a picture right here, Mark, for you. This is a 2024. Can someone tell me the obvious here? Like, what's the elephant in the room?
Steroids.
Could someone? Is this Alabama? Is this Derrick Henry, Najee Harris? What's going on here? Okay, this kid right here.
Hold up. Let's pump the brakes on comparing him to Najee Harris or Derrick Henry real quick.
Well, size-wise.
Let's just pump the brakes, all right? You're the one who's not going to make predictions on the coming season. Let's not make predictions on talent just yet, okay?
I don't need to make a prediction. This right here,
he's only played his freshman season, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
15 years old. That's interesting to me. But this is old, but offered. He got offered, I believe. What was it? Yeah, yesterday. He committed this morning to Florida State. He's right there in Georgia. He's also gotten offered by the baseball team, your favorite, Mike Martin Jr., Jason. So he commits early. A lot of baseball guys do intend on doing that. But this right here is pretty interesting. Right now he's unranked. It's so far away, but I don't know what to say. It's interesting, scary.
I mean, I know you look like that in high school, right, Logan?
Yeah, I've been giving him pointers, but he's got to catch up, though. He's got to catch up to this.
I'm just really happy that you figured out the share button. You've really been using it a lot lately. You're enjoying sharing stuff. You're really following a Norvell Central Twitter account. Seriously?
I had to find it
to the program here. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a good one here. You could see Denzel Moore.
Hey, Denzel's a good guy. Now, I'm going to actually give Logan some credit. People think that Logan and I dislike each other. Logan's like the little brother. But I'm going to give Logan credit. I'm going to give Noel Game Day some credit. And we're going to take a few minutes here. We're going to give Noel Game Day some love. Noel Game Day, for those of you who follow them on IG, it's a solid follow.
Thank you.
It's a very solid follow. But you posted a lot of questions this past week, kind of a yes or no, will this happen? I thought they were very interesting because some of them were crazy. I will admit, some of them could decently happen. So let's take a look at some of them.
Yes. We did a little bold prediction, so everybody could send in a bold prediction that they have for the season. And then we'd put it out as a poll for people to vote on, for all the followers to vote on. And there's a few on here that were pretty entertaining. It was a big hit over last week or whenever it was. Let's do this one. This is a good one. Jermaine Johnson, bold prediction. Jermaine Johnson leads the ACC in sacks. Is it happening or nope?
Are you able to pull those up?
I have nope, sadly. It's all on phone, but
okay, gotcha.
Okay, he's gonna hold up. Oh, there we go.
But it will probably be reverse mirrored. But will Jermaine Johnson lead the ACC in sacks? I wonder if the chat will communicate with us tonight.
Before we get to that, thank you, Ronan, for your $13.78. Mark needs new glasses. I'm getting Tinder Premiere. Awesome, mazel tov on that one. Logan, you need more Natty Ice. No, Logan doesn't drink Natty Ice anymore. He's all about Chick-fil-A. That's
right. Once Chick-fil-A comes out with an alcoholic beverage and it's over, I'm not going anywhere in life.
Chick-fil-A's not open on Sunday. You think they're doing it?
I don't think so. I might have to spike my own sweet teas.
Yes, Jermaine Johnson's going to be leading in sacks.
What do you think? Bold prediction?
I'm going to say no, not because I don't think that he will not have a good season. I just think.
Whoa. No good season at all.
No. I said I think he will have a good season.
Oh.
Don't put words in my mouth, DeSantis. Calm down there.
Scared me.
No, I
think
he will have a good season. I think that though you have a lot of other defenses, guys playing at Miami, guys playing at Clemson. I don't think I will say definitely top 5, but I do not think he leads the ACC in sacks. What about you, Mark?
I am hurriedly looking up numbers on Jermaine Johnson because I'm trying to make a educated projection on this.
I could tell you right here. So the ACC leader last year was Patrick Jones from Pittsburgh. He led the conference with 9 sacks. Last year, Jermaine Johnson logged in at Georgia 5 sacks. Obviously, SEC.
In only 7 games. He only played 7 games. He had 5 sacks.
And you're going to see a big difference, I do think, in how much he's going to be getting played because of Florida State's lack, I think, in experience at defensive end right now. He's going to be on the field for a long period of times. I don't know. I think it's definitely a bold prediction. The next guy under 9 sacks last year was Chris Rumpf with 8. So it's between about 7 and 9 sacks.
He'll be up there. He'll be up there. I just don't think he will lead. You're going to get one guy who's going to get a freak game, get like 3 sacks in a game, big numbers. And I think our schedule, you just have to look at that schedule. You're going to be facing a lot of guys. How many times is he going to get to the quarterback against the Notre Dames, the Miamis, the Clemsons, Sam Howell, North Carolina?
Well, if we're truly looking at a bold prediction and looking at the odds of it happening, obviously you take the field against any one particular player. But I'm going to say that he's got a good shot at leading the ACC in sacks. I'll give him a 10 or 15% chance of doing that.
All right, what's your next one, Logan?
Next one here, let's see.
It's not like we didn't prepare for this for 2 days. So.
I got it. Hey.
Been writing down.
All right. Destin Hill is first team all ACC as a true freshman. Destin Hill.
Not a chance in hell.
No,
not a chance.
All right, on to the next one.
Strong. Yeah. Let's if he's all freshmen.
Yeah, maybe freshman.
That would be great.
Right, maybe freshman team. Yes, Mark is right. Maybe freshman all ACC, but not the whole comp. No.
Let's see. Milton leads the ACC in touchdown passes. Who led it last year?
My heart wants to say yes. My head wants to say, does he have the receiving group that can haul in the touchdowns?
Yeah.
Is he going to play the full season? I think, and this is not being Debbie Downer. He has not played since November of 2018. He has not played in 2 full seasons. I think the optimism is, he's going to be so great. It's going to be the Mackenzie Milton we saw in 2017 at UCF. We don't even know if he's going to play a full season. We don't know if he's going to play the full game against Notre Dame. There's so many questions with him. If everything goes according to plan, once again, I think he'll be top 3, but you still have Sam Howell. You have DJ, whatever his name is at Clemson. I'm not even going to try to butcher his last name.
Yeah.
If De'Aaron King does come back healthy at Miami, you're going to have guys. So I got to say, no. Top 3, top 5, yes. Top of the ACC, no.
I'm going to say that he has a good shot of doing so because of these reasons. He's thrown for 4,000 yards and 37 touchdowns in a season. So he has shown us that he has those kind of capabilities, not necessarily in this conference, but in a conference that's a rung or 2 down, but still a very good conference. Of course, the health has to come through. The other thing would be maybe Florida State gets into a lot of, he not only plays well, but he gets into a lot of situations where he's down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and he's throwing it every play and he's throwing 55 passes a game. And just the nature of the playing catch up is going to cause him to throw a lot of touchdown passes.
62% of people voting believed it.
Well, your fans are tough.
Now, well, of course, they're also Florida State fans, so they're going to be pro. Yeah. But there's some on here that were, let's see what the results were for this one.
I'll give him a 25% chance.
Let's see. This one right here. Toa Philly will have 1,100 or more total yards rushing plus receiving.
And I voted yes on this. I voted 100% yes on this. I think if you're saying rushing and receiving, yes. I think he can combine. I think he will be – you'll see a lot more of him. I hate to use this because I'm going to compare him to my favorite Florida State Seminole of all time, Warwick Dunn. But I think they're going to use him in a lot of the ways that Florida State used Warwick Dunn back in the day. A lot of the passes out of the backfield. You know, and I think you're going to see a lot of that early on to get Milton comfortable with the offense. I think everyone's all fascinated with Milton's big arm, but I think you have to get him more comfortable playing on the field. He has not played a competitive game, once again, since November of 2018. So, yeah, I think Toa Philly will get a lot of receiving yards, and I think 1,100 yards receiving and rushing combined is definitely going to happen.
I agree, but how crowded is the backfield? How much workload do we think he's going to get?
It's Corbin and also now DJ Williams from Auburn that just transferred. So I think his biggest competitor right now is going to be Corbin. I don't think, but I do think that job is going to be this year more 50-50. And I think Toa Philly has a chance to take over. I think he's the most talented back in that room. I mean, I think Corbin was getting into a stride at the end of the season, but I think Toa Philly, like Jason said, I think he gives some different kind of better go-to when it comes to just short throws, the guy that has good vision and he can get out east and west better, kind of like how they used Cook in some ways. He could find ways to get around the boundaries more and quicker, and that's what Toa Philly has. As long as he stays healthy, I think he has a chance to get to 1,100. He's just got to put on some pounds this offseason so he can stay on the field longer.
It's only 37 carries, and 12 of those were against Jacksonville State, but 9.6 yards per carry is ridiculous. Obviously, he's not going to keep up that kind of pace. But 37 carries, you ran for almost 10 yards per carry. It's crazy.
All right, Logan,
passes.
Yeah.
Logan, give us two more. This is fun.
Let's see this one right here. Florida State has 8 wins on the season and beats Notre Dame in the home opener, season opener.
Nope. I will be there. I will be chopping it up. I will be doing my chop for the Noles. In my heart, I'm going to, of course, predict us beat Notre Dame, but no. We did not win 8 games this season. Because I'd love to know what people think the 4 losses will be, the only 4 losses we have. Because right now, you look at our schedule, and Mark talked about this a few weeks ago. You look at the schedule of Notre Dame. Let's just use these 6 games. Notre Dame, North Carolina, Miami, Clemson, Florida, and Louisville, just because Louisville beat us by 32 points. Which 2 of those games, assuming that in a perfect world we win our those other 6 games on the schedule, which one of those 2 games do we win? Louisville, maybe, because it's at home and because they lose 2-2 out.
Yeah, I think that's what was keeping Louisville. I mean, that was not even fair. That
8
kid
and
was
4.
ridiculous.
This is what we're looking for. We're trying to find 8 and 4.
I don't.
8-4, and Florida State beats Notre Dame.
No.
Wow.
This is what the drunk followers of Noel Game Day.
Well, let's see what they voted. Let's see what the percentage was. Where's it at?
Vote on the percentage show.
Come
Come on, you know how to use the share button.
Well, whenever you own the account, it doesn't have. Well, it says 2,000 people voted for yep. It's happening. 800 voted for you're crazy.
So 2,800. Yeah. So that's nearly
71%.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm sorry. Trust me. In a perfect world, I want us to go 12-0. 8 wins is not happening. Well, your fans are drunk.
I think this is going to be a good season at 7-5. If Florida State goes 7-5 and it's either chalk, as Jason's nodding to, either you beat the 7 you're supposed to beat and you lose to all 5, or there's a high probability that you pull off one really nice upset, but you also stumble somewhere against somebody that's capable, like an NC State or a Louisville. Either or, 7-5 would be a nice season for this team.
I mean, 8-4 would include us pulling off another upset, like against a Miami, against a Florida.
Jason, upset that Florida State could pull off.
Give me, what are my options?
Out of the 5 that they're a substantial underdog would be Notre Dame, North Carolina, Clemson, Miami, Florida.
Most likely would probably be, I'd probably say North Carolina, just because of they have the knowledge that they can beat them because of what took place last season. Okay. North Carolina loses a bunch of talent, and I think it's early enough in the schedule to where, I would have said Miami had Miami been earlier in the season because D'Eriq King, we still don't know if he will be back by the time they play Alabama. If it had been earlier in October, end of September, I would have probably said Miami. But I think North Carolina is just early enough that they are still going to be. So, yeah, I'm going to say North Carolina.
Jim John says 8-4 is easy if Mackenzie Milton stays healthy.
Because everyone's looking at the motivation of what took place in the Duke game. They're looking at what happened at the end of the season, the way Florida State ended that season against Duke. They're looking at Mackenzie Milton from 2017 and from 2018 before the injury gets to USF. It's all this positive, it's all this, everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be awesome. And like James has said on here, Notre Dame loses a bunch of guys. There's a lot of Miami fans down here, for example, thinking, Alabama loses a bunch of guys. We're going to have a shot against Alabama. The second team at Alabama is better than the first team at Miami. That's not a knock against Miami. That's just a fact. The second stringers at Clemson are better than the first stringers at Florida State. That's just a fact.
Yeah, no, I think Florida State's best chance to win. I think it is between probably North Carolina and Miami. It depends on how King is looking too. I don't think he's like such a huge presence maker. Like, well, my God, now if he comes back, it's over. He doesn't have a Trevor Lawrence kind of effect in the ACC. But I think with North Carolina, Florida State figured out a way to beat them. The defense looked terrible in the second half, and they still were somehow to beat one of the top offensive players in the country with those targets that Sam Howell had at wide receiver and that running back corp that ran all over Miami. At Florida State is able to score points again, and I think that this offense is what I think most fans are excited to watch this season. The defense can take care of itself. They can figure out who your 2 starting corners are at, and they can stick with them. I mean, this should be Florida State should have a pretty decent chance to upset the Tar Heels in North Carolina.
And I think, Miami fans are sitting there saying, and Ronan, you're in Ireland or Scotland, somewhere in Europe. I'm actually down here in Broward and Miami-Dade County. So, sorry, your fans are literally sitting here thinking you guys have a shot against Alabama. So go have another pint. You're probably drunk right now. Go have another pint. Buy one on me. Charge me for this next one you're going to have. But I think the concern with Miami is that I think D'Eriq King will be back when they play us on November 13th. And if D'Eriq King is back, I think that our chances go down substantially. I think D'Eriq King is a very good quarterback. By the way, we're really agreeing too much, and it's really making me uncomfortable.
It's a weird day.
It's weird. Yeah.
Well, all that cold weather's gone. All that crappy weather that was like in Florida is gone. So I think that's probably what it is. It's nice and sunny. The spring's coming. We get nicer.
It's such cold weather. I have to go cover a hockey game, so I'm going to let you guys get on to bashing Willie Taggart and doing the rest of your stuff now. So.
Well, I know. I'm answering Dylan real quick. Logan, did you not see Miami? I think I did say that, though. I did say that I did see what Miami did last year to Florida State. I did put that out there. But like I said, Fuller I talked about it in the recruiting part when we opened up the show. Fuller's job is on the line. I mean, that's without a joke. I mean, you've got talent there. You've got to work with it, though. There's got to be some kind of upgrade in the production side of things. That was embarrassing though to get routed like Florida State did though.
I know.
Certainly.
Imagine sitting through it in the stands.
Yeah, and you had threatening people to fight you too.
Ooh, we couldn't come to the press box. I was in the stands, dumbass. Lord, Miami fans are stupid. Really. Well, almost as dumb as some of the drunk Noel Game Day readers.
Yeah,
Game Day, it's phenomenal.
We do have Richard Bass asking a pretty legitimate question here, considering that Mac Jones wasn't that highly touted. I believe a 3-star out of Jacksonville, and why Florida State didn't go after him. Maybe they did go after him. I don't know.
I don't really remember that. I don't really remember Mac Jones's recruitment because of how much of Alabama was stacked at quarterback for a little while.
Yeah.
Because he had Hurts and then Tua. Why did FSU not go after the Alabama quarterback? Was from Jackson? That's a good question though. I mean, I think Mac Jones was with a guy that he proved himself on the field. I think it was some guys can do that. Coker came in as a highly touted recruit too, and they had decided to compete, him and Jameis. And I do believe in Jimbo that it was a very close competition. I don't believe that it was like crazy close, but I do think it was a good competition for Jameis and Coker when it was done. And Coker goes off to Alabama and also gets himself a national championship. Those kind of guys, I think Alabama is figuring out to kind of work with. They're putting smart coaches behind them, and they're able to develop these cats that might not be some crazy dudes like Tua and Hurts, but they're doing a fantastic job.
And the Rod Farva, you are correct. Mac Jones was originally committed to Kentucky. Yep.
Did not know that.
That's right. I do remember that now.
Absolutely. Hopefully the Florida fans in here too also are excited about who's going to be throwing the football in Gainesville, because I don't know who's going to be throwing the football. I don't know. It's not going to be. I don't know who it's going to be.
Somebody's going to throw it, but they're not going to spin it as well as Kyle Trask did last year. I just can't imagine based on what I saw out of Emory Jones last year.
Nope. I don't know what the Florida fans are on and what kind of drug it is, but as being a guy that's gone to Gainesville a couple times, I think the only thing you can do is do a couple drugs to kind of get your mind into a better paradise. And I just love seeing the talks about Emory Jones being a threat at passing the football. And they just brought in the LSU tight end commit, former 5-star talent. I don't know who's throwing to him. I really don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch.
They also signed Anthony Richardson, who's supposed to be a stud, but I think Emory Jones is going to be the guy.
I think so too. I believe so too.
I think Dan Mullen likes to develop his quarterback, so he doesn't like to just recruit and sign and cut loose and put in the starting lineup. He likes to mold him a little bit. So I think Emory Jones is the guy. And again, based on seeing him quite a few times running that Wildcat and then getting to throw a little bit, and I think they limit him to just pretty much a lot of dump offs and a lot of slants across the seam where he doesn't have to make reads or throw the ball to the outside. They're going to have to open up things and trust him to some extent, and I don't know that he's at that level.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's kind of like where Jordan Travis is. I think Jordan Travis is ahead of him in the passing game, which was a surprise to all of us last year, but there's still some developmental needs during this offseason that Jordan Travis is most certainly going to be working on with Kenny Dillingham and Norvell, because if Jordan Travis can become a bigger threat throwing the ball, then, you really do have a big time competition, in my opinion, on who's going to be starting at quarterback for the rest of the season. I think a lot of people are expecting Mackenzie Milton to be the starter, and I'm still expecting that. But, if Jordan Travis can get the throwing game going, if it can just rise up to, a guy that is able to make reads, can stay consistently throwing the deep ball, not missing open guys. I mean, that's a lot to be done and figuring that out in a year and develop wise. He's still young, but I think that's what it's kind of the same situation type with what's going on at UF, trying to get a guy that is definitely more focused and more talented at running the ball. Just got to you got to develop this as an offseason big for 2 Florida quarterbacks in the state of Florida with Jordan Travis and Emory Jones.
This is what we do usually on a Wednesday night, Thursday night this week for everyone. So that's why you got to subscribe, hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live, which is, again, typically Wednesday night, but we had to switch things up. So hang with us on a Thursday night. Got Logan Robinson here from Knoll Game Day. We'll wrap up the show here in the next few minutes. But Logan, let people know what's going on over at Knoll Game Day, because every time I talk to you, it seems like you pulled in a couple other big names.
Yeah, tonight we'll have Lamont Green and Sr. and Lamont Green Jr. on. His son, like we talked about at the beginning, just recently committed. So that'll be kind of like our first interview with like a recruit like that. Definitely one that just committed, and we'll get to talk with Sr. too. So that's going on at about 8:30 tonight on Knoll Game Day's platforms. And then the rest is just covering a lot of recruiting. The guys, Nate and Dustin, are really working their tail off right now, getting some recruiting interviews done, trying to stay ahead of the game and try to compete with other sites and outlets, try to get more in tune with recruiting as we head into the spring. I know spring position previews are starting to come out on Friday. I think tomorrow, quarterback preview drops Friday from our guy Noah that just joined us. And then starting next week, a lot of spring position groups are going to be previewed going out on the website. So it's just getting ready for spring. It'll be fun the next week or so, 2 weeks, because we'll be able to preview some spring on here on Mark's show, and then we'll be able to talk about maybe what's going on at practices and actually talk about stuff that's going on in the field, because we haven't been able to do that for a couple months now. So it should be fun.
Yeah, our quarterback preview with Logan just posted this morning, so check it out. Pretty in-depth look at all 3-4 quarterbacks for Florida State. We'll run through the rest of the positions here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all got to go check that out, because this quarterback room, and like I said, Norvell's just not going to hand it off to Milton like this. It's just not how it's going to work. Obviously, Milton's been working his tail off, getting connected with players and having workouts outside of tour of duty and throwing passes and having some off the field relationship building, which he's done a great job at. But Jordan Travis is not a guy to just say, all right, putting him on the shelf. That's just not going to happen. I think it's going to create a great competition this spring. This is where we're going to find a lot of answers on which guy is really going to take Florida State to the lead and face off against Notre Dame in September, early September. Yeah.
There you go. All right, Logan.
Yeah.
We'll cut you loose and let you get prepared for your conversation later tonight. Again, check out Logan's Twitter. Just follow him on Twitter. Logan's Twitty, right?
Yeah, Logan's Twitty. That's it. I don't think I'll ever change it. I will never change it. It's the silliest thing ever. But yeah, you can follow it at Logan's Twitty with 2 T's. And definitely always appreciate Mark having me on here to come talk some FSU. We've been rolling the last couple of weeks, and make sure y'all hit that like button too. I don't think I got to say it, but smack that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment too. I think leaving a comment helps too, and maybe give us some topics next week to chat about. Things are kind of going to be slow until we hit spring practice. But yeah, commenting and liking, I think, is big for the algorithm. Okay, now we're talking.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think you did. It's right there on it.
Okay.
It's perfect. Yeah, y'all can follow me there.
I need to do a better job. I need to just get those on the banner. Anyway, so again, Logan's Twitty, it's going to be a good ride for you if you head on over there, because he's constantly pumping out Florida State content. A lot of great videos, a lot of great stuff that he picks up from national writers. I see it all the time where you'll pick up some good angles and pass it along. A lot of good stuff on there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've got to start reminding everybody. Nate does it, but Travis Hunter, the best player in the class, always got to do it after every show. He's just the best that is in the class. So yeah, tons of stuff coming this spring. I'm excited for this spring. I'm excited that there's an actual schedule. This time last year, we started getting really nervous about what was going to be the future of sports and whatnot. It seems like there's a solid plan for the NCAA and spring football going on. We know Florida's already in practice in pads. Things are happening smoothly. A spring is going to happen, and this is what Florida State needs in the biggest way imaginable. And there's some exciting position battles that are going to be happening here in a few weeks. So I'm excited. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful here, Mark. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful there.
It's like 70 degrees and sunny. I don't know what it is like up there, though.
Sunny. Yeah. We checked that off over the last, I'd say 3 days. Like not a cloud in the sky, beautiful blue skies, but like 48 today.
Oh, yeah. It's a little chilly, but that's probably not too bad for you, though.
That's actually not for mid to late February. If you can get 48 today and 51 yesterday, you're going to take it every time because like March is going to be a wild card. March can be all over the place. March can still be winter, or it could actually turn out to be nice. It's just a wild card. You have no idea.
Absolutely. You told us about it all the time with weather or your power being out. This was this last year, power being out, and then also just the cold and nastiness. And then I'd look at what was going on in Connecticut and the nastiness there. I'm like,
yeah, no power out here. We've been good with the power for a long time. But
what was that one that affected you a couple months ago? There was some that where we couldn't get you online for a little while.
Couldn't get me online.
Yeah, you remember you had to you almost went to a McDonald's to get Wi-Fi. I forget what it was. There was some storm. There was a northern
with that.
Yeah, there was a northern storm.
Losing it. Yeah.
And I think it was during maybe hurricane season. Right. We didn't have you.
Yeah. I do remember that.
We didn't have you for a little while.
You and Jason pulled it out of the fire. Got things done.
I think so.
All right. Yeah. We're finally going to catch up at some point in Old Game Day and get ourselves a sponsor. So any of you out there that have any kind of connection with anybody that can help us out in regards to a sponsorship, hit me up at MarkRogersTV at Gmail. And you know what that means? That means any kind of angle that you have on a particular team, whether that's Florida State, Miami, Ohio State, we cover everybody. And so I got a story. So for going back about 3 months, a Nebraska fan wanted a Nebraska show, wanted a Nebraska live stream. I said, get us a sponsor. You can have a Nebraska live stream. Boom. Within 2 or 3 days, they made it happen. Boom. For 10 weeks, we did a Nebraska live stream. So,
boom.
So help us out there. If you've got any connection with anyone that would sponsor either the channel, all the content, or any particular team. All right, Logan, we'll be looking out for some awesome content here on Noel Game Day. And again, check them out at 8:30 tonight. And we're going to continue to pump out some position previews with Logan and get those posted in the next few weeks heading into spring practice.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, Mark. Thank you for having us always.
Awesome. See you guys later. We'll be back here at 7:30 p.m. to talk Clemson.